Hello everyone and welcome guys. I am Nachiket Walekar. Today we are going to see next two colligative properties. In previous video we have seen one colligative property, that is what change in vapor pressure, and we have seen concepts of vapor pressure, what is vapor pressure we have seen, and that vapor pressure is related to next two colligative properties. One is of boiling point and other one is of freezing point. Now boiling point, as we all know, it is defined as the temperature at which vapor pressure of liquid becomes equal to the atmospheric pressure. That is definition of boiling point. And definition of freezing point is what? The temperature at which liquid gets converted to solid. That is known as what? Freezing point. That is one definition. The second definition according to textbook is the temperature at which vapor pressure of liquid becomes equal to the vapor pressure of solid. That is known as what? Freezing point. So before going through these two definitions, first we'll have a quick revision of vapor pressure and then we'll go for the next two colligative properties. Now what is vapor pressure? Now in science majority of the headings are related with the concept of that definition. Means what? Vapor pressure we are seeing. So the definition of vapor pressure is what? The pressure exerted by the vapors of the liquid on the walls of the container is known as vapor pressure. Now you can remember this definition diagrammatically or by heading also. Heading is what? Vapor pressure. So the definition is pressure exerted by the vapors of liquid on the walls of the container. That is known as what? Vapor pressure. So by diagram we can remember this as I am having a container filled with water and that container is enclosed with another container, and this is the base part. It is air sealed container. Now what will happen? There will be the vapors of water molecules. These vapors of water molecules will exert pressure on the walls of the container. That pressure will be known as vapor pressure. This is the definition which we have seen in previous video also. We are just revising it. So this is known as what? Vapor pressure. Now what is the boiling point? The boiling point is the temperature at which atmospheric pressure becomes equal to the vapor pressure of the liquid. That is known as what? Boiling point. Now when we are having only solvent, like when I am taking only water, that water will boil at 100 degrees Celsius. Okay, means here I am having water, and if I am heating this water container, that water will boil at 100 degrees Celsius. The required condition is it should not have the container on it, because if I am having container over there, so the pressure will change and simultaneously the boiling point will also change. The same concept works for pressure cookers, but we are seeing boiling point. So boiling point is what? At 1 atmosphere. Boiling point is what? At 1 atmosphere. The temperature at which vapor pressure of liquid becomes equal to the atmospheric pressure. So this definition you can remember symbolically also. The temperature at which vapor pressure of liquid becomes equal to the atmospheric pressure. In this symbolic form you can remember the definition of boiling point. Okay, this is simple. Now next, what are the changes that are taking place when, as in previous video we have seen that the vapor pressure decreases. What? The vapor pressure decreases as you add the solute molecules in it. With the increase in the number of solute molecules, the vapor pressure will go on decreasing. Remember that. Means what? Here the surface which I am having is completely of water molecules. Then I will add NaCl in this water molecule. What will happen? On the surface we will have some Na plus and Cl minus ions. Means here I am having alternate Na plus and Cl minus ions. Now what will happen? The ions will restrict the passing of water molecules. First I was having the complete surface for water molecules to go into vapor state. Now what is happening? The water molecules are restricted and they will go only through the openings. Means what? As we know that when we are going for a movie or anything, there are barricades to control the flow of public. Similarly, these solute molecules act as barricades on that water level and control the flow of vapors. Means what? The number of vapor molecules decreases and the vapor pressure also decreases. Means when you are adding solid solute particles, vapor pressure decreases. And what will happen? Now we will see graphically. Here I am having vapor pressure, here I am having temperature. Initially I will have only graph of solvent. This is solvent, means only H2O. Now when I am making solution, we are having, here is 100 degrees Celsius, here we are having 0 degrees Celsius. We are decreasing the temperature, or you can increase the temperature, whatever suitable is. So I will increase the temperature. With increase in temperature, vapor pressure of water is increasing. Now when I am adding NaCl molecules will, what will happen? The vapor pressure will decrease. Okay, and with increase in temperature, the vapor pressure will go on increasing like this. And boiling point is what? The temperature at which vapor pressure becomes equal to the atmospheric pressure. So the atmospheric pressure is common to both. When I will extrapolate these points, I will get this as temperature of solvent, so T1, and this as temperature T2. So delta TB can be given as T2 minus T1, where T2 is greater in temperature, that is of solution. So the temperature of solution will increase. That's why there is elevation in boiling point. And with increase in concentration, if this is at 1 molar, for 2 molar the concentration, the vapor pressure will decrease more. As we know, as vapor pressure decreases, concentration increases. There is inverse relation between them. So with increase in concentration, there is decrease in vapor pressure. Again I am increasing the temperature of that solution, and what will happen? I will get another graph for 2 molar solution. Extrapolating, I will get T3 over here, which is higher in difference. Means what? Delta T will be concentration dependent. Okay, means with increase in concentration, difference will go on increasing. Now this concentration term is represented by small m. So we can write that delta TB is directly proportional to small m, where small m is what? Concentration. Now m, we are knowing two concepts, molality and molarity, where capital M represents molar solution. Capital M represents molar solution and small m represents molal solution, where we can write that delta TB is equal to Kb into m, where Kb is proportionality constant, also known as elevation constant and also known as ebullioscopic constant. Okay, these are the names to this constant given. One is boiling constant or elevation constant or ebullioscopic constant. These are the names for this constant. Now we are knowing the formula for molality. Molality is represented by, I will write over here, delta TB is equal to Kb into, molality means what? N2 upon W1 in kg. And we know value of N2 or formula of N2. It is what? Delta TB is equal to Kb into W2 upon M2 into W1, that is in kg. Means this is our complete formula. We can write bracket 2 kg. So this is our complete formula, where we are having the unit as kg over here. So W2 and M2 should have unit as kg. So this is what? For elevation in boiling point. This is the expression for elevation in boiling point. Next we are having depression in freezing point. Now we will see how there is depression in freezing point. As I have already told you the definition of freezing point. The definition of freezing point is what? The temperature at which vapor pressure of liquid becomes equal to the vapor pressure of solid. That is known as what? Freezing point. Now we will, there is a question that can solids have vapor pressure? Can solids have vapor pressure? The definition is what? Vapor pressure of solids is equal to the vapor pressure of liquids at a particular temperature, that is known as freezing point. That means what? solids will have vapor pressure, and that vapor pressure is very, very negligible. That's why it is considered in a small amount. Now, for example, when we take out our ice from our refrigerator, we can see some amount of vapors on that ice. Those vapors are some amount of vapor pressure which will be exerted. Okay. Now for that, I'll have a graph over here to understand the relation between temperature and vapor pressure. If I am having what? Ice, my ice will have some amount of vapor pressure at 0 degrees Celsius. With increase in temperature, what will happen? The vapor pressure will go on increasing. It is simple, because with increase in temperature, molecules absorb that energy and go into vapor state. So small amount of molecules will go into vapor state with increase in temperature, and this increase in temperature is related to what? Solid state. Okay, we can either draw this graph like this. Okay, up to 0 degrees Celsius our ice remains in solid state, and after 0 degrees Celsius our ice starts converting into liquid. So we can say that up to 0 degrees Celsius it will be in solid state, and below that the vapor pressure will be less. Okay, here this is what vapor pressure of solid ice. After 0 degrees Celsius it will be in liquid state. So when I will decrease the temperature of boiling water, means from 100 degrees Celsius I am decreasing the temperature. With decrease in temperature, vapor pressure will decrease, right? With decrease in temperature, vapor pressure will decrease, and my water, means pure solvent, will get converted to ice at 0 degrees Celsius. As we already know, my water will get converted to ice at 0 degrees Celsius. This is for freezing point. Now what I am doing is I am making solution. Now when I will take salt water and try to freeze it, what we are knowing is that the solution will have less vapor pressure than solvent. So this is solvent, we will have less vapor pressure for solution. This is what? Salt water at 100 degrees Celsius. I am decreasing the temperature. With decreasing temperature, I will have this graph, and this graph will intersect at this point. Okay, so we can write this as T1 and this as T2, where there is depression in freezing point. Means what? First my water was getting converted into ice at 0 degrees Celsius. Now my solution is getting converted in ice at minus 0.273 to 23 degrees Celsius. Means it is decreasing. There is depression in freezing point. Is this clear? Here this is for graph of solution. With decrease in temperature, solution will intersect at a point where it exists in solid state. Vapor pressure will exist in solid state. Okay, here we can write as delta TF is equal to T1 minus T2, because T1 is greater and T2 is smaller, and delta TB, as we have seen in previous part, that T2 minus T1. Delta TB is T2 minus T1. This is the most important part which you should understand. T2 minus T1 and T1 minus T2. Remember this thing. And delta TF is directly proportional to change in concentration. Means this difference will go on increasing with increase in concentration. That's why delta TB, delta TF both are directly proportional to concentration. With increase in concentration, difference in both freezing point and boiling point will increase. So we can write delta TF is equal to Kf into m, where F is known as freezing constant or cryoscopic constant. This is known as what? Freezing constant or cryoscopic constant. And already we are knowing the formula for molality, and that we will be substituting. So delta TF is equal to Kf into N2 upon W1 in kg, then substituting the value of N2, that is delta TF is equal to Kf into W2 upon M2 into W1 in kg. So this is our final formula for delta TF. These are the concepts which we have seen. We have seen three colligative properties. First, in previous video we have seen vapor pressure. In today's video we are seeing two colligative properties, change in vapor pressure. Second is depression in freezing point, and third one is elevation in boiling point. So these are the two colligative properties which we have seen today, and we are going to try to solve the examples based on it. First, there are two types of example asked over here, 1 mark example and 3 marks example. In 1 mark example you will use only this formula, delta TF is equal to Kf into M. Only this much formula will be required for 1 mark question, where M is concentration term, molality term, Kf is constant, and delta TF is either elevation in boiling point or depression in freezing point or change in temperature. So these terms are used in our examples, and depending upon that examples you can identify what are the given things. So we will start solving the examples. First example we will solve, where 0.15 molal solution. I will dictate, you write down that example and try to solve it. As I am dictating, you can write it down. 0.15 molal solution of a substance boils at 373.23 Kelvin. Calculate molal elevation constant of water. Boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius. Now pause the video and try to solve it on your own, as we are knowing all the terms which we are given. So first, 0.15 molal solution means what? We are provided with the concentration, that is 0.15 molal solution. Next, we are having temperature of solution, boiling point of solution, that is 373.23 Kelvin, and we have to find out the molal elevation constant, means we have to find out Kb, where boiling point of water T1 is 100 degree Celsius. So converting this Celsius into Kelvin, that is 273.15 plus 100, this will give you 373.15 Kelvin. Now all the terms are equal. We are asked to find out what? Kb into M. We are unknown with Kb. We will need delta Tb. Delta Tb means what? T2 minus T1. So first we will find out delta Tb. Delta Tb is T2 minus T1, where T2 is 373.23 Kelvin minus 373.15 Kelvin. By subtracting these two, we will get the value of delta Tb as 0.08, and to find out Kb, we will be writing delta Tb upon M. So delta Tb is 0.08 divided by concentration 0.15. You can solve this by log calculations. 2 zeros means bar 2. You will see the value of 80 in 0. Next, 1 0 means bar 1. You will see value of 15 in 0. Subtract these two values, the answer, you will see antilog of your answer, and then you will get the final answer. I will write down the final answer, that is 0.53 capital Kelvin kg per mole. Capital Kelvin K gives you Kelvin temperature, then kg per mole. Okay, so this is our first example, simple example. Next we will go for a difficult one. A solution containing a solution containing 1.21 gram of camphor. A solution containing 1.21 gram of camphor having molar mass 152 gram per mole, having molar mass 152 gram per mole in 26.68 gram of acetone, boils at 329.95 Kelvin. The boiling point of pure acetone is 329.45 Kelvin. Calculate molar elevation constant of acetone. Calculate molar elevation constant of acetone. Try to solve. Pause the video and try to solve this example. Next, given, I'll write the given thing. Solution contains 1.21 gram of camphor, means we are provided with 1.21 gram W2. Camphor is having molar mass which is given, that is 152 gram per mole. Next, we are having W1 because acetone is given, that is 26.68 gram. Having boiling point of pure acetone, so that is what T1. Boiling point of pure acetone is 329.95 Kelvin. It is T2. I will read the example. A solution contains 1.21 gram of camphor in 26.68 gram of acetone. Boils at, means this is the boiling point of solution. The boiling point of pure acetone. Now we are having boiling point of pure acetone, that is 329.45 Kelvin. This is T2 and this is T1. Now we have to find out what? First, delta TB. Delta TB will be what? T2 minus T1. T2 is 329.95 Kelvin minus 329.45 Kelvin. Subtracting this, we get 0.5 Kelvin. So delta TB is equal to 0.5 Kelvin. Next, we have to find out Kb. Okay, all things are given to us. By substituting these values in our given formula, our formula is what? Delta TB is equal to Kb into M. We have to find out Kb. So Kb is equal to M upon delta TB. M we are knowing, we can directly use that formula. That is what? W2 upon M2 into W1 in kg. And here we are having delta TB. Now we have to find out the value of Kb. So to find out the value of Kb, that will be what? 1 upon Kb. Sorry. That will be what? This Kb is over here. We will get 1 upon Kb. So by rearranging, we can get the final answer as Kb is equal to M2 W1 delta Ta upon W2. This is our formula. If you are not comfortable with this formula, you can directly use by substituting the value of M over here and then convert the formula. There is no need to directly go by this form. You can solve it by yourself also by simple way. You can generate your own way. I am going by this formula now. Kb, substituting the value of M2. Now these all terms, all weight should be converted in kg. So W1 is 26.68 into 10 raised to minus 3 kg, and delta TF is 0.5 divided by W2 is 1.21 into 10 raised to minus 3. Minus 3 minus 3 get cancelled, and we will get the final value of Kb as 1.676 Kelvin kg per mole. Now you will be thinking about how come I am getting these units, right? So to get these units, I will write down a form over here. This is what? Kg. Means this term's unit is kg, so I will write only that unit over here. Kg into 26.68 into 10 raised to minus 3 that is also a unit in kg. That is what? Kelvin. So I will write capital K over here. Here I am having kg as my unit. Now this is what our W1 weight. M2 is 152, that is gram per mole. So that will be what? 152 into 10 raised to minus 3 kg per mole. So here I will have what? The whole thing divided by mole over here. Kg gets cancelled, so I will get kg. Here I will write Kelvin per mole. Kelvin kg per mole. This is the unit which we get over here. How come we are knowing this molar mass as gram per mole? We just converted this gram into kg and mole is remaining as it is. So we have substituted the unit over here, that is kg per mole. Okay, kg got cancelled and I got the unit which is over here. Okay, so now next we will solve one more example. 3.795 gram of sulfur is dissolved in 100 gram of CS2. Solution boils at 319.81 Kelvin. What is the molar formula of sulfur in solution? The boiling point of CS2 is 319.45 Kelvin. Kb is equal to 2.42 Kelvin kg per mole. Sulfur is equal to 32. Atomic mass of sulfur is equal to 32. Try to solve. We have to find out the molecular formula of the solute which we are using. Okay, so try to solve. I will read the example and write down given over here. Pause the video and try to solve the example. Okay, what is given over here? W2 is given, that is 3.795 gram. Next we are having W1, that is 100 gram. We have to convert these values in kg, so we can write down 795 into 10 raised to minus 3 kg. This will be what? Is equal to 100 or 0.1 kg. Now if you are not knowing how to do the conversions, we all are knowing that 1 kg is equal to 1000 gram. I want to convert this gram into kg. So what I will write? I will write down the units, the same units between them. So 3.795 gram, and I want to get this term in kg. So I will write down x over here. Then cross multiply. I will get 3.795 divided by 1000 is equal to x. Here I will get 1000x. That 1000x I directly divided to my 3.795. So this will be what? 10 raised to minus 3, which I have written over here. 3.795 into 10 raised to minus 3. Similarly, I have done for 100 gram. That 100 gram, if I will write 10 raised to minus 3, I will get 0.1 kg. So in this way, I have done the conversion. All the conversions can be done by this unit. If you are knowing the basic units, everything can be converted in this way only. So this is for conversions. Next, what is given? W1 and W2 we have written. Next we are given the boiling point of the solution, that is T2. T2 is 319.81 Kelvin, and we have to find out molecular formula. And the boiling point of solution, that is given as 319.45 Kelvin. Kb is given. Kb is equal to 2.42 Kelvin kg per mole, and atomic mass of sulfur is equal to 32 gram, which is given. Now we have to find out what? Molecular formula. So to first find out the molecular formula, we need to find out M2, and from M2 we can get the molecular formula. So to find out the molecular formula, we are knowing the formula where delta Tb is equal to Kb into W2 upon M2 into W1. I need to find out the value of M2. So I can write this down as M2 is equal to Kb into W2 upon delta Tb into W1. So I will need here delta Tb. So to find out the delta Tb, first I will what? T2 minus T1. So 319.81 minus 319.45 Kelvin. I will do the subtraction and then I will get the final answer. Here I will have 7, 6, 0.36. This is the subtraction. So using these values to find out my value of M2. M2 is equal to Kb. Kb is 2.42 into W2, that is 3.795 into 10 raised to minus 3 divided by delta Tb, it is 0.36 into W1, it is 0.1 kg. Now you can directly do the log calculations and you will get the answer as 0.255, that is 0.2551 kg per mole. Now how I am getting this unit as kg per mole? Again we are knowing M2, unit of Kb is Kelvin kg per mole, right? Then unit of W2 is what? Kg. Next delta Tb is Kelvin and W1 is in kg. So kg get cancelled, Kelvin gets cancelled. Remaining is what? Kg per mole. So I will get unit as kg per mole for M2. So this is what? 0.2551 kg per mole. Converting this in grams, that will be multiplied by. See now, here I am having kg. We can use the previous term, as I know that 1 kg is equal to 1000 gram. So 0.255 gram, sorry, 0.255 kg will be how many grams? So I will multiply 1000 with 255. So I will get 255.1 what? Gram per mole. So I have got the formula or the molar mass of my solute, that is 255.1 gram per mole. Next, to find out the molecular formula, I will divide this molar mass. I will divide this molar mass by the mass of sulfur to get the molecular formula. I will explain why I am dividing this. This molecular formula is the molecular formula addition of all the elements, addition of all the masses. This mass is what? Addition of all the masses. I want molecular formula. So to find out the molecular formula, what I will do is, that is 255.1 divided by 32, which is given to us, that is again in gram per mole. So the units are same. I will get what? 8 gram per mole doni kade cancel hota. This is gram per mole, this is also gram per mole. Units are cancelled. We get molecular formula is equal to 8. Now we are having sulfur. So 8 sulfur atoms will be there in our single molecular formula. So the molecular formula will be what? S8, and it is represented as in this way, where each corner has a single sulfur atom. In this way we get 8 sulfur atoms, and this is the molecular formula of solute which we are using to make our solution in CS2. I hope this concept is clear to you. Next we will solve only one example based on the formulas are same. There is no difference between freezing point and elevation in boiling point. Formulas are same, steps are same, but we will solve one more example and then we will conclude this lecture. Okay, write down the example and try to solve. Calculate the freezing point of solution. Calculate the freezing point of solution prepared by dissolving 4.5 gram of glucose. Dissolving 4.5 gram of glucose in 250 gram of bromoform. Freezing point of bromoform is equal to 7.8 degrees Celsius. and Kf is 14.4 Kelvin kg per mole. Freezing point of bromoform is Kelvin kg. Kf is 14.4 Kelvin kg per mole. Now try to solve. Pause the video and try to solve. Given, I'll write down given. We are having W2, that is 4.5 gram, is dissolved in W1, that is 250 gram of bromoform. Next we are having freezing point of bromoform, means we are having T1, that is 7.8 degrees Celsius. You can convert this, you can keep it as it is. Next week when we will solve you will understand. It is T1, that is 7.8 degrees Celsius. Kf is given, Kf is equal to 14.4 Kelvin kg per mole. And what else is given? We have to find out what? T2, that is freezing point of solution. Now we are knowing the formula. Delta Tf is equal to Kf into W2 upon M2 into W1. First we will find out the value of delta Tf, and then we will use this T1 to find out the value of T2. Kf is given, W2 is given, W1 is given. M2 we will need to calculate. M2 is what? Molar mass of solute. As we are given glucose, the formula of glucose is C6H12O6. Carbon is having value as 12, 6 into 12 plus 12 into 1 plus 6 into 16. By adding these we get 180 gram per mole. Okay. Now substituting these values, Kf is equal to what? 14.4 into W2 is 4.5 into 10 raised to minus 3 divided by M2. M2 is equal to what? Kf, M2 is equal to 180 into 10 raised to minus 3 into W1, that is 250 into 10 raised to minus 3. So minus 3 get cancelled. This will give you what? 14.4 into 4.5 divided by 0.18 into 250. Okay, by doing these log calculations we get the value as 1.44 Kelvin. Okay, 1.44 Kelvin, that is what we are getting it as what? Delta Tf. This is the difference between the temperatures. Now you will be thinking of why I am getting the unit as Kelvin over there. Again we are knowing the units. Kf is equal to what? Kelvin kg per mole. W2 is in kg. Next M2 is what? Kg per mole, and W1 is in kg. So kg per mole, kg per mole, kg cancel, only Kelvin is remaining. So we get the value of delta Tf in Kelvin. Now we have to find out what? T2. So to find out the value of T2, we are knowing that delta Tf is equal to T1 minus T2. So we are knowing the value of delta Tf, that is 1.44, and T1 is given 7.8 degrees Celsius. Now you will be thinking why I am directly using the value of Kelvin over here directly, because the difference, whichever you take, whichever the unit of delta Tf it will be, either Kelvin or Celsius, you can directly use that unit. Okay, केल्विन असो किंवा सेल्सिअस असो त्याचा काही एक फरक पडत नाही, फक्त डिफरन्स साठी डेल्टा टीएफ ची व्हॅल्यू केल्विन मध्ये असू द्या किंवा सेल्सिअस मध्ये असू द्या, दोन्ही सेमच असतात, फक्त कोणासाठी? डिफरन्स साठी. ओके, इट इज व्हॉट T2. Now to find out the value of T2, 7.8 minus 1.44. After subtracting this, we will get the value of T2 as 6.36 degrees Celsius. Okay. Now in this way, we have solved the examples for elevation in boiling point and depression in freezing point. If you have any doubts, please write down in the comments, and I will try to solve those doubts in next upcoming videos. And thank you for watching this whole video, and please share with your friends. Thank you.